Ish?
Ish.
Good.
Thanks.
I'm out of comedy. I wrote 2 little bits and they've been used, so I've got no comedy. Yeah, so talk fast, or connect fast, and that would be good. Yes. I have a question for Joe. I'm going to ask Joe a question while Shawn says something. So if there's anybody in the room who has something that is like these projects, who wants 30 seconds, and I mean 30 seconds, to do a lightning talk at the end, you can do that. So you only get 30 seconds. You don't have to tell me now, but you're going to only get 30 seconds at the end, and we'll just do like lightning talks for 5 minutes, so that means there'll be 10 of those maximum. But just think about those now. If you have like a little interesting side project or something you're working on that it pertains to social good and responsibility, sustainability, and whatever would fall into this big bucket, we're good to go. So we have here Shawn Smith, who is the co-founder of Global Agents for Change and Education Generation. He's going to talk to us about growing up as a 2.0 charity. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Sure.
Thanks, Joe, particularly for inviting me out tonight. Sorry. Good opportunity. I'm going to talk a little bit about Global Agents for Change. One of our flagship projects is a youth-oriented cycling tour from Vancouver to Tijuana. The riders all raise money for microcredit initiatives in the developing world. So this is one of our riders finally reaching the Golden Gate Bridge. So the projects that we run, all of which are around sustainable solutions to global poverty and getting young people engaged, enthused, and involved in these types of projects. Riding to Break the Cycle, we do the one cycling trip from Vancouver to Tijuana. We've launched the second one this year that I'm riding on from Amsterdam to Istanbul, 4,000 kilometers, 25 youth on each tour. Each tour has a fundraising goal of $100,000, and the riders spread that out among themselves. Educationgeneration.org, I'll put the website up a little bit later, but that's a crowdfunding website for scholarships for developing, or young leaders in the developing world. So scholarships from $100 to $500 that we crowdfund, $20 at a time, so break it down into bite-sized pieces so that individuals can contribute. Is anybody here, probably everybody here, familiar with kiva.org? Yeah, so similar crowdfunding concept, break it down into bite-sized pieces, but these are micro grants, not micro loans. The Microcredit Challenge, we run university programs. This is a fundraising program for kids at universities where we lend them $100 for a week as a team, and they get to see how much money they can raise with that in 1 week and then pay the money back. And the Young Agents Awards, we do a series of awards and mentorship programs for young social entrepreneurs in the Vancouver community. So these kids are 12 to 20. We've just picked the 8 winners for this year who are receiving their awards at our annual gala this Saturday, if anybody's bored at the end of the week. So I'll speed things along a little bit here. We're talking Growing Up 2.0, and the reason this came up is partly in reference to Joe asked me to talk a little bit about social media and how we use all these tools and how we're really active in this space, and I barely had any idea what to tell him because we don't think about it. Kind of like a fish in water. The organization's only 1.5 years old, and we've never thought about what types of tools are out there. These are just where our members live. So we live on Facebook and Twitter. We don't have an office. We do everything by email. Everybody's remote. We've got people in Europe, in Toronto, and New York, and San Fran, and we've never really thought about that being a strange thing. P2P fundraising and awareness. We decentralize all of our fundraising and awareness. Very flat organization. All the members take responsibility for the success of the Americans, with 200 people actively involved right now. And EdGen, which is our pet name for education generation and crowdfunding concept. So Growing Up 2.0, like I mentioned, where are our members? We didn't really think about it. That's where we have to go to find them. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on YouTube, they're on Flickr. This is the only place we can find them. It wouldn't do us a whole lot of good to print mailouts and send them to their address because it's not where they're going to be looking. Cheap or free outreach, we have virtually zero budget. I'm essentially a full-time volunteer. All the members in the organization are volunteers. So we don't have a lot of money to pay for marketing. The goldfish represents the collective attention span of our membership. Where a 4-minute YouTube video is definitely pushing the boundaries. P2P, so decentralized fundraising and awareness models. This is particularly around the Riding to Break the Cycle tours. Every rider has a $4,000 fundraising goal. They have to hit it before they come on the tour. So that means between now and the end of July, we plan to raise $200,000 without us having to throw a single event. We raised $200,000 to date, and we expect to double that by the summer, based almost entirely off of this model. Those are all my riders and their friends. Empowered members and evangelists, so we give people the tools so that they can go out and push the message forward and connect with their networks. So for example, we have someone who considers themselves an expert at making YouTube videos that are good for this kind of thing. He had great success last year. So he basically hangs out, and any rider that wants to can go to him, create a video, and use it to spread out to their network. We've got stock phrasing and stock information that riders can use for Facebook groups and Facebook events, kind of all the stuff that they need to put this out there. So it's pretty simple for them to at least get started, which is providing the tools. Crowdfunding. Education Generation is a project we launched last August. It's considered still soft launched in our mind. We've never pushed it. We've spent about $200 on the project since August, raised about $20,000 Canadian, and funded 93 scholarships for young leaders in the developing world, averaging $200 to $300. We have one Facebook group, we have a Twitter account, and we put one post on a discussion forum that Kiva supporters use, and that's generated all of our support. I put up some students last night because in the frantic week that was, we didn't really realize we were pretty much running out of students. And it's not an overwhelming amount of money, but these probably went up at about 3 in the morning. And you can see, I don't know how small it is for everybody, but you can see collectively they've already raised about $200. Just because somebody in our network heard that they were up and started spreading the word. So I think a lot of people in this room could teach us a lot of lessons about how to take this stuff forward. We don't consider ourselves social media experts. We don't necessarily know what we're talking about. We just know what our friends and members use, and we try and use it to the best extent we can. Just for an example, right now we're just figuring out how to hook this up so when people donate, they can just post it to their Facebook accounts or to their Twitter accounts or those types of things, which are probably pretty self-evident to a lot of the more active bloggers and other people in the room, but stuff that we're just getting around to now. This is also all volunteer. This website's been built by scratch by a volunteer developer who's got a full-time job and a brand new baby. So, not knowing how long 5 minutes really is, I tried to power through that pretty much as fast as I could. That's us. That's us on Twitter for both, and that's both websites. As I said, if anybody's interested this weekend, we do still have tickets for our annual gala. Some of the more inspiring young 12 to 20-year-olds you're going to meet